Welcome to another episode of Scorched Scrow's Dispatch, following our misfits towards an inevitable and potentially fatal encounter with a dragon. I am, as always, your humble host, Micah Silvertongue. Before we get to our guest for today, here are some headlines. The Department of Existential Dread announces rebranding effort, now simply the Department. Studies show the dread was implied, says Director of Unavoidable Realizations. Mass possession event blamed on clerical error in summoning paperwork. Someone checked all vessels instead of one vessel. Officials confirm as thousands report mild inconvenience and new voices. Ancient curse recall issued after multiple failures to ruin bloodlines properly. We regret that several families reported only minor misfortune and manageable despair, says the manufacturer. Mandatory sacrifice program moves to subscription model. Why commit all at once, asks organisers. With monthly tiers, suffering is more accessible than ever. Today we have two guests, same battle, very different outcomes. On my left, an archer who lived, on my right, an archer who did not. Gentlemen, welcome.
Dude, honored to be here. Still processing everything, but like in a good way.
I was stomped into paste.
Yes. Thank you for that clarity. Let's begin at the start. The party enters the camp.
Yeah, vibes were already kind of off, you know? Like they walk in and I'm like, this is either going to be fine or not fine.
It was not fine. It was immediately not fine. She shot first.
Lyric fires at your leader.
Yeah, and I was like, bold move, respect. Confidence like that? You don't see it every day.
She attacked our leader. That is not confidence. That is violence.
Violence can have confidence.
You are why I died.
The battle escalates, arrows fly, a party member falls.
Yeah, that part got real heavy real quick. I remember thinking, okay, well, stakes are high now.
You think someone died in the first exchange.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. High stakes.
The Chosen enters, Berserker's charge, magic fills the field.
Dude, it was chaos. Meteors, bells, floating weapons. At one point, I was like, are we fighting people or weather?
We were losing. That's what we were doing.
Your leader unleashes a concussive wave.
Yeah! Ground shakes, people go flying, then it gets cold. I was like, okay, elemental combo, respect.
It didn't matter. She still got through.
Lyric closes in.
Dude, she was locked in. Like, everything else faded, and she was just protecting her people.
She killed our leader.
Yeah, but like, purposefully.
That is how killing works.
A clean decapitation.
Not clean. I saw it. There was shouting. There was rage. There was no dignity in it.
I thought it was kind of inspiring.
You would.
The orcs break through the gate.
That's when it was over. You hear that wood crack, and you know no one's leaving.
Yeah, that was a rough moment. I was like, okay, new plan. Totally did not have a new plan.
Let's talk about your moment. Tower, Lyric arrives.
Yeah, everything slowed down, like battle's still happening, but I'm like, this is important.
This is where he abandoned his post.
I adapted.
You walked away from the fight.
She asked if I wanted to go for a stroll. What was I supposed to say? No?
Yes.
That feels wrong.
You were magically charmed.
Nah, man, that was connection.
You were enchanted.
Emotionally, yeah.
Meanwhile, you, the other tower.
I held my ground. I kept firing. I did my job.
You attempted to negotiate.
Yes, I said, let me live, and I'll stop shooting. Reasonable, tactical, sensible.
Honestly, great offer.
It was ignored. Then I was struck with magic. Then the orcs arrived.
And then
They stomped me into the floor. Repeatedly. There is no poetic version of that.
Dude, I'm sorry.
You were tying yourself to a wagon.
Yeah, that was later. Different moment.
Let's address that. Lyric tells you to tie yourself up.
Best idea I heard all day. Clear instructions. Strong leadership. I executed perfectly.
You restrained yourself voluntarily in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, man, teamwork.
You are the reason strategies fail.
Final thoughts. Same battle, two perspectives. What do you take away from it?
Sometimes you meet someone who just changes your whole outlook, you know? Even if it's brief. Even if you end up tied to a wagon.
I take away that I did everything correctly and still died, while he is still here.
Dude, I think it's about mindset.
I hate you.
Understandable. Gentlemen, or at least our living one, stay sharp, stay shady, and remember, surviving doesn't mean you were right, and dying doesn't mean you weren't. And now a word from one of our sponsors, Infernal Insight.
Infernal Insight offers monthly advice subscriptions, from potion optimization to diplomacy with dragons. Every month, receive whispered wisdom, slightly sinister but always accurate guidance from the deepest corners of the underworld. Subscribe now and never face a moral dilemma or a cursed goblin alone again.
Until next time, my friends, this is Micah Silvertongue signing off. If you can't be good, be bad. And if you can't be bad, just be devilishly charming. Ta-ta.